My fellow some big lunatics, this is the, if you watch the earlier video where I'm back in the saddle again. Anyway, I'm having fun now again, doing these kind of things now. My Some Big Lunatics cooking and some other content that I'm gonna put on Some Big Lunatics, because it's not just about cooking, right? About many other things. But so this thing was huge. It was about this big. So I cut the flat out, and I was dry aging the point or tip, whatever you want to call it. As you can see it right there, dry aging a little bit there for a few days. So what I'm gonna do, it's a little hard, right? I'm gonna start. It's a little tough. Don't get me wrong, the knife is pretty sharp, but it's been dry aging for a while. So I'm gonna start trimming this thing off. It's got a lot of fat, but I'm not going to trim a whole bunch. As you can see, it is a sharp knife, so don't. You're gonna have a sharp knife. It is a sharp knife. The thing is just really hard. It's been dry aging just like that, not covered in any way at all. Took a little too much on that one. So as you can see, it's okay to just kind of cut into this, because all this big old fat ain't gonna render down. So I just want to trim a little bit on top so I can be able to rub it. So you pretty much kind of get the point. I mean, this is gonna take me a while to get it going. So usually me, I just like to take little long strokes like this. Just kind of trim it all. You see, it is a sharp knife, as you can see. So that's the only disadvantage of dry aging it like this, which I don't believe anybody that I have followed or whatever has done this. All right. I just decided to do it this way because I was in a hurry to do that flat. And so, as you all hopefully remember, I didn't like doing briskets because I wasn't really doing it well. But, you know, sometimes it just happens. I mean, what can I tell you? I didn't want to do briskets until I kind of gathered more information and things like that. But sometimes, you know what? You just gotta go, just get after it. Get your basic information, ask some questions. And like I've always said in Some Big Lunatics YouTube, do it your way. Get your information, stuff like that, make your own decisions, and trial and error. Now, I'm not gonna say that my other briskets were not good. They just were not up to my standards. All right, I got a different palate. And you know me, I mean, you know each other. I mean, it's just, everybody has a different flavor, a different thing. I mean, you have a different mind set as to what you want, and it just didn't turn out that way. And my family liked the other briskets and things like that, and that's great. I mean, I appreciate that, but I didn't like it. So I knew I had to try something different. This knife, I've had it since I was a meat cutter at Sam's and all that. So it's a little beat up. But again, it's been dry aging in the fridge for 5-6 days. Put a little bit of salt around it and stuff like that. See that? Nice and sharp. I don't like to take too much fat away. I like the fat. You know, Oh, you leave too much fat in there. Well, people like Wagyu or Wagyu or whatever the heck you call it. What is that? Nothing but a fat steak, man. You know, oh, it's a different type of tender meat. I'm sure it is, but you know, just I look at it and it just reminds me of what do you call that stupid thing? Spam. You know. Then again, maybe I'm just shooting it down because I can't afford it. Too darn expensive. But when I look at it, it looks like this. It's like, really? You know, that steak's so darn expensive and just fat. All right. I guess it's a different stroke for different folks. Again, this stuff is really hard right here. So you get the idea. Again, this is the brisket without the flat. Without the flat. For me, I don't like to be wasteful, so I'm trying not to get too. Again, this stuff is really hard right here. So you get the idea. Again, this is the brisket without the flat. Without the flat. For me, I don't like to be wasteful, so I'm trying not to get too close to the meat. As it's warming up and all that, I get closer to the meat. Well, obviously it's better. It's a quicker trim. But right here, see, I'm trying to get just the top little layer right there, just so that I can get some of that rub in there. See, now we're getting down to the meat part of it. Again, dry aged brisket, and I'm not lying to you. Look at that. You hear it? So it's been there. Just got in a little bit of salt from a little bit of salt that I put on it. Now these right here, these little pieces, maybe some of these that I'm going to take from here, I'm going to quickly smoke them. Again, I don't like to be wasteful. I don't think anybody is. But I'm going to smoke them as I smoke this because I'm going to put them in some beans. All right? So there you go again. Again, you know, tough fat, man. Don't like to waste so much meat, so I just want to be careful. I take so much meat away, but you can tell that knife is pretty darn sharp. All right, so the little hard part. Oop, what that is right there. What's that? It's weird. Okay. All right, here we go. So here, just gonna kind of go in there a little bit. See how the fat's coming around right here? Trying to get as close as I can to the fat. I mean, it's never going to come out perfect, but as you can see, you want to waste as little as you can of the meat. I'm doing it kind of quick, so get you. Get some stuff done, but okay, so there it is right there. You see that? See? So a piece of brisket has a lot of fat. Now, of course, the traditional way with the clods and all that, I'm all for it. If it's done right, I'm all for it. I love it. Grew up with it and things like that, but there's just something about smoking, man. Something about smoking. It's just awesome, man. It's a different flavor. I am gonna throw down some hickory on this one because I like the strong flavor of hickory. Oh, you know what? My bad. I don't have any hickory. I'm just gonna go down with some post oak. Again, this is really hard, guys. It's been in the cold refrigerator for, like I said, about 6 days. But you know what? I actually like the feel of that. That's pretty good. So, let me turn it around. See this right there? A lot more fat, right? Yeah. So you kind of pull it. Just make sure that you don't get too much of the carnita. With the little tip of your knife right there. Kind of play around with it. There you go. See that? Now we're gonna go ahead and take off this chunk. See where we're at. See, that's just mainly fat. Again, you can have this beautiful brisket. Woo, it looks really nice in the store and all that. And then you come to find out, it's a lot of darn fat. Big old 18-pound brisket turned down to 14. Almost 4 pounds of fat. Look at that. Adrian, why are you taking so much fat? Again, because it's not going to render down. I'm not going to do it Claude's way, nothing like that. Well, besides, I mean, for you that have made, that fat, the clods, and you don't take any fat away, I really don't see the point, because it doesn't render down, doesn't really do anything anymore. The fat that was in the animal while it was alive did what it needed to do, and that's it. Some of it is going to render down here, but you know, usually when you make it with the cloths and the plastic bag, or however you do it in the foil, what winds up happening? Man, you got a lot of fat left over. Then you get these really nice pieces, and it's just drenching with fat. I mean, I'm not talking about loving that kind of fat. If you like it, well, good for you, right? Some big lunatic, go all the way. But I don't. I just don't like it just taking a bath in fat. So if I was doing this thing in a bag, I'd still be taking a lot of this fat away because it's not gonna do anything. I don't care what anybody tells you. You don't believe me? Fine, just try it. You know, trim as much as you can. But I know that some of this right here, it is, especially when you get into the softer fat. See, this is not gonna do it. All right, so I'm gonna cut some of this off right here. So look at this. See all this fat? Just, I mean, how can you tell, right? I mean, you take a gamble. But those of you that have bought brisket and stuff like that, you'll see that some of these, man, you can just come across a good one, and more power to you, man. Then you get home and like, oh no, it's a bunch of fat. Look at this. Look at this sucker. A lot of fat. So you figure already maybe there's about a pound right there. And again, this is just from the point. You should have seen the other side. All right? Get that one up. I've been thinking of getting one of them fancy knives. This is old school, an old Forstner. It's all the way down to the handle. Handle's really good. I've had it for, God, 15 years maybe. It's still good. I've used it for probably as a tool. Look at that, and it still works. Try to avoid what I'm just doing right here, cutting towards you, okay? Because it will slip and you can cut yourself. Sometimes you just gotta cut a corner, I guess. But we got more fat. You can tell that this thing is so full of fat. It ain't funny. I'm a little disappointed, really. It's just haven't seen one like this in a while, to be honest with you. It's really hard, man. So I know it's not gonna render down, guys. You see that? Look at that. That's a lot of fat. I'm gonna keep repeating myself, but holy smokes, are you kidding me? I thought it was gonna be a shorter video. Man, I'm really butchering this sucker because I'm actually kind of upset. This is a lot of fat. I didn't see this coming. And actually, yep, my guesstimate is correct. Look at that. Nothing but fat, guys. There's no way you're gonna eat that. See? And I had to do that in order to get to this part. Very disappointed. But you know what? I can almost guarantee you it's gonna come out fantastic. But to me, I mean, you spend, what is it, almost $3 a pound? And knowing that you're throwing most of it away, or a lot of it away. Good. I don't even really want to go anymore. It's a sin, man. Yeah. Again, folks, I would never normally not do it this way. I'm kind of butchering a little bit, but because I'm rather disappointed. So you see, this is where the flat comes from, right? Well, at least down here it is. So this is where you would separate it, put it back, and then you would have the flat right here. But in this case, I'm going to leave this part of the dry aged part there like that. And you see this fat right here? Nothing's going to come out of that. Nothing good, at least. So again, some of you are going to tell me, hey man, you trimmed too much fat off of it, or maybe not enough, whatever the case may be. Again, I'm not making it in a bag. I'm not putting it in a slow cooker to make it into the Claude's way of doing things. I'm going to smoke it. So this fat is not going to render down. All right. Here, I'm going to throw some of this fat away, man. Let's see, I'll put this to the side. Because I'm going to smoke some of these pieces. Oh yeah. Nice sharp knife. Just look at this. Come on, guys. Boom, more fat. Wow, I really did not see that coming. I hate repeating myself over and over, but I'm actually a little disappointed, man. And this is actually a choice brisket out of Sam's Club. Now here, basically, I'm just taking off the layers that I don't want. Obviously, I need some of this for protection of the meat, but this stuff right here that's just not good. I'm gonna cut that off. But I'm gonna smoke it again for some beans. That I am gonna smoke right there. Some of the stuff right there. That's about right. I'm satisfied with it. Gonna trim off some of this a little bit so I can get some rub in there. Now you might think, well, it's been a couple days. It smells good, like a dry aged piece of beef. Now remember, this is not going to be in direct heat, so you're able to take some of this fat off and all that. More fat. So we're good here, we're good here. Now we were going to do this, is that earlier in another deal, I was using the meat church. No, I'm not being religious. That's what it's called, meat church. It's called the gospel, all-purpose rub. I did the flat with it, but what I forgot to mention, because I want to share it with you guys on this one, is that this meat church right here, all-purpose, smells, man, it smells really good. But it's not salty at all. I first laid a layer of this John Henry's. I didn't like this by itself, to be honest with you. I actually liked some of the rub that Smoking Joe's sold me, some SPG. It was really, really good. But I tried this one like this. So, oop, forgot. Put some Worcestershire sauce on it. It gives me the flavor that I want. If it does it or not, I can't vouch 100% for it, but it worked last time. Like I said, I haven't been really proud of my my briskets. I actually almost literally told one of my buddies to go ahead and just smoke one for me because I just couldn't do it. But this last one that I made was, oh my gosh, delicious. So here you go. There it is. And then I threw this sucker on there. Now remember, in the fat part, some of it's gonna render down, so you're not gonna get the full effect of the rub. But in my mind, I do think you do get it. So that's how I'm gonna do this one. But I'm gonna add a little layer of this all-purpose meat church rub. Again, I don't want to lose it in the back end of it. So I like to just press it down. Get it all really good in there. Bam, baby. So now the beautiful part of it comes that we do this part. Okay. So again, you took some of that hard part off because again, I had it marinated in a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic, and dry aged for about 6 days. Okay. Making a mess here. That's just part of the fun. Now this is the point, very fatty part, and what I'm probably going to wind up doing with this one is doing some burnt ends. Why am I doing this? It's a habit that I just kind of like slice it up a little bit there, just a tiny bit. I've never tried injecting it with anything. I'm probably gonna try my next one like that. So here we go. There I did some Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna throw down a small layer of this Henry stuff. Really good in there. Now, you've heard it in some other videos that, you know, it's got a lot of salt, some of these rubs, but it's a big piece of beef, so it can handle it. All right. But with the flavor that I really want to come out is out of this one, the meat church. And speaking of meat, church, give me 1 second. In my last video, I was telling you all that I got some of that whiskey, the Texas whiskey that came with this rub. And I'm telling you, gentlemen, ladies, fellow some big lunatics, wow, this is my second cup, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's really, really good. So, okay. So here I am. Put the meat church on there. I like to really get into it, as you can see. And then open up the wounds. I'm wounded. Throw it in there. This just gives you a really, really nice bark. So, what am I gonna do with this? Well, I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator, back in a container, and let it sit for a full day with this, just like that. Just like that. Get some of that rub in there. So just like this, I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. See how beautiful that looks? I think I missed a little bit over here on this one. And I'm telling you, this little combination really smells fantastic. I like to pay attention to detail, guys. That's why I'm like this. See? Okay. So I get that. Get my container. Just making sure. Oh yeah. Let's get some of this in here. To get as much as I can of it. There you go. And then put it back in here. Squish it in. And get it ready. So again, fellas, some of the lunatics, look at this. Again, you were not gonna eat this if you do it Claude's way. But you're not gonna eat that. You can leave it all on there. You can argue with me all day long, but this is not gonna help that when you leave it in the bag and you do it with the Claudes, okay? Look at the amount of fat this sucker is, man. Look at that. A good 2 pounds, at least. See? So you saw the monstrosity that I had here. And again, I didn't get all the way down. I actually wanted to trim a little bit more. So you know what, man, I'm just gonna leave it like that. But look at a lot of the fat that you get from I guess I'm gonna call it a good brisket. It's from Sam's and it's a choice. But if you do it, what I consider the right way, you will trim a lot of fat off. You know, you don't wanna have that just glob of fat coming, oh no, I mean, you're not gonna find that at Rudy's or a respectable barbecue place. You're not gonna find that at Smoking Joe's or anything like that. No, you're gonna have it trimmed. You're gonna have all that. This taken off. It looks like if we're throwing a lot away, but I'm telling you, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you all think. Pointers, whatever you think. I mean, like I said, we're just having some fun. But I am disappointed. I haven't had a brisket like this as far as I can remember that I took so much fat off, and with good reason. This is way too much. But if you can tell, it's a beautiful brisket. Look at that. Like I said, it was dry aged. Now it's gonna age for a little bit more, just sitting in that rub, and then I'm gonna put it in the pit barrel, nice and early and all that, and get it going. It should be done pretty quick because it's a small piece of meat. And I'm going to use a little bit to make some burnt ends. But I'll get back to you on that. Like I said, these little trimmings and all that, they are really, really good on beans. So that's the reason why I'm going to do it this way. Okay? I'm going to smoke them up a little bit, get a little bit of smoke in there. Actually put a little bit of rub on these suckers real quick. Let it sit there as well. And on beans, I'm telling you guys, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Use up the rest of this Worcestershire. Okay, and that's all she wrote. You know, but I'm telling you guys, slow sipping whiskey, you can't beat it. Try it out. Let me know how y'all liked it. And thank you all very much for watching. Again, my subscribers that have been with me for a couple of months now. Thank you all very much. Really, send the love out there to me and in the comments and things like that. I appreciate you. And I'm back, baby. Love you guys. Take care. My fellow sun-baked lunatics. So as you see from the other videos, this is the brisket. I didn't film the other part because, like I was telling you, I wasn't really into it. So what I did is, again, I cut the flat part of this, it's about that big, and I smoked it, and it came out delicious. Now, on the other video that you saw, I was showing you about how I needed to trim this brisket. It lasted about 5 days with a little bit of salt around it, and it marinated, I guess you want to call it, in that. Dry aged for a little bit, and then I was able to trim off a little bit of that as well. And I smoked it, and I'm telling you, the point, this part right here was fantastic. About 200 degrees all the way through. And then this one was still about 175. So I picked it up, trimmed it down, put it face down like this in the pit one more time while I let this one rest. Came back after about 30 minutes, and this one was already reading a bit higher. So this has already been sitting for about 20 minutes. My family and I are very hungry, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut into it. Nice little crust to it, and this is how we're gonna start it right here. Now, you might say, oh man, it's well done. Yes, to me it is. I like it. I don't like that it's falling apart. Maybe it's a knife or whatever, but look at these things. Now, again for the lunatics, this is the this is the part of the point that's on the very top, and I do have a nice crust on it, which is making me a little harder to trim it. And I should have made a little cut to find out exactly where we're at when it comes to the grain. This is the kind of stuff I like right here. The bark, and then boom, you get into the meat. Ooh, a little hot. Yeah. Try this. In my previous videos, I was telling you all that I have a hard time with brisket. It took me about 3-4 briskets to get it the way I like it. Again, remember, this is the part where I cut that big flap. So you're gonna have that bark right there. But I'm telling you, it's not hard. The bark is, that's what I wanted, man. And this is supposed to be one of the driest parts. So you'll see on the other videos what I did to it, the rubs that I use, and I'm telling you, Mini Church, you got it going on, man. Very good. I really like it. So, it looks like if the grain is going this way, again, the bark, that's the part that I'm having a hard time getting to. Once I get over that, it's pretty much smooth sailing after that. Ooh. There we go. Look at that. Get a nice little smoke ring. Not overly done, but you can taste the smoke. See that? There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm telling you, I'm my worst critic. My family can attest to that. And look at that. The brisket is fantastic. Now, this is the, again, I'm not in competition. I didn't want to get all, technical about it. But that's that. Now this one is the point. Again, the bark at the bottom. Look at that. Look at that thing, man. Oh my! Look at this. Look at this. Best brisket I ever made. I really wish you could taste this. It's really good. What I decided to do with this one is to pair it off with the Samuel Adams Boston Lager. Dark beer. Really good. Let's see how it goes. Oh, good compliment. Really good compliment to the flavor of the brisket and everything. It really is. I probably wouldn't want to go darker than this, like maybe a Guinness or something like that. Perhaps maybe a Guinness Blonde. But this Samuel Adams, I don't like to drink this kind of beer just by itself. I have to have some type of a meal with it or a snack. And the brisket with this, pairing off with that, you cannot go wrong with it. So thank you all for watching. That's the results. If you have any questions, comments, please again, share, like, comment, subscribe, and spread the word, please. I know fellow Sunballoonists, I definitely need your support with that. And I'll be getting better as time goes on with the content and things like that. I'm hoping to get a lot better lighting. But bear with me. And, well, thank you all very much again for your support. Appreciate it.